Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon Showdown match. Starting out with a new team, still in UU. This is kind of my secondary team I'm working on, but it has changed drastically since this video was recorded, so don't expect to see a lot of these guys again. At least not on this team. It's been almost completely reworked, I believe, but anyhow, it's a team I was using for this match, and my opponent up here has a standard-ish UU team. I don't know. UU's got a ton of choices, so you don't see you don't see the same things a whole lot, except for this bitch. Roserade is everywhere, so that's annoying, and it's really, really good. So I need to watch out for that. I do have some checks on my team. Chandelure and Bisharp both check it pretty well, but it's still dangerous because you never know what it's going to do. Plus, it can put you to sleep, which kind of ruins the point of a check. Mew, no one has any idea what it's going to do, so it's always super dangerous. And then I guess Darmanitan's kind of scary. Mienshow's definitely scary. And Suicune can be a giant pain in the ass if it gets a chance to set up. Raikou helps make that not nearly as much of a threat, but it still could potentially be bad for me, so I just need to watch out for it. The main two things I'm going to be worried about here, though, are dealing with Roserade and figuring out what Mew wants to do and trying to block that. So let's go ahead and get into the match. I'm going to lead with Thunderhead the Raikou just to scout, see what he wants to do. He leads with Darmanitan, which immediately leads me to believe it's Scarfed. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know for sure. It's definitely choice somehow. But I go into Berace the Suicune here to take the Earthquake, which I do, and then Roserade comes in and I make a super ballsy play. I predict it to go for the Sleep Powder over anything else, expecting a switch, and I stay in and go for Sleep Talk. And I actually Sleep Talk, Scald, and get the burn, so that was ridiculously advantageous to me. Probably an unnecessary risk, but I look cool for pulling it off, so that's good. After that happens, I can go into Spaceman Sam the Bisharp, get my rocks up, avoid the Sludge Bomb, and generally do good stuff. So now I'm going to Volt Switch out to Candlejack the Chandelure, and I don't care what wants to come in, I'm just going to Fire Blast it. Even if it's Suicune, I still get some damage on it. And if he does stay in, I'm going to obliterate Roserade. So that's major threat number one down, which is good. I do have to switch out to Bubba Hotep here, though. And I go for the Will-O-Wisps, thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. Luckily he didn't sub, but he does show me that he is a Calm Mind variant, and that is going to lead me to Ghost Curse, because I do not want that to happen. So getting that curse on him is really going to limit the amount of turns he stays in. You know, Bubba Hotep does go down, but he went down saving the team, so that is acceptable. Thunderhead the Raikou doesn't quite kill Suicune, but he does take a +2 Scald like a champ. And then, thanks to the Ghost Curse, he is going to go down, so that's dealt with now. And I'm feeling pretty solid. I took out two of his biggest threats right away. Just need to kind of worry about Mew, since I don't know what it's going to do. And here it comes again after I go to Berace, just to wall the shit out of that Darmanitan. So I have to hard switch here, and he does set up a nasty plot. So I paralyze it. I don't know why. This is just a completely wasted turn. I would have been better off going straight for the Sucker Punch. But luckily I don't get fully paralyzed. It turns out he does, which is kind of huge. But I thought he might want to play around and try a nasty plot on my Sucker Punch, so I just go for an attack and end up losing Spaceman Sam, which is an acceptable loss. You know, now that the Mew's paralyzed, I can take it out at my leisure. And Candlejack does just that. So I switch out of Bronzong here. I'm not sure why I was scared of it, but I put it to sleep, and then I try and set up a Quiver Dance with Tiny Dancer Lilligant. But I don't know how fast Darmanitan is. I mean, this confirms that it is Scarfed, but I have no idea how fast he was, and in this match I didn't know. So I thought maybe I would outspeed it at +1, but no I don't. Luckily, his team just gets completely raped by Candlejack from this point on, so it's not a big deal. I know that the Mienshao is most likely not Scarfed, since Darmanitan was, and as soon as I get him in on a free switch, he just sweeps the rest of the team. So that's going to be match number one with a slightly odd UU team that has since been reworked because it was pretty bad, but it was still a fun match, so I figured I'd put it up. For the second match today, we're actually going to switch tiers all the way down into NU. This battle is against my good friend and PokeTuber extraordinaire, Robotnik is Sexy. If you guys watch any of his videos, you will immediately recognize his team up here. This is his NU Sunny Day team. It's extremely offensive. And so I know right away that my two main priorities need to be A, get Stealth Rocks up to fuck over Charizard, and B, try and prevent the Sun from gumming up as much as possible. It's probably going to be impossible to prevent that the entire match, but the fewer turns of Sun he has, the more likely I am to win, because once that Sun goes up, things are just going to start dying. Now, I should mention in this, before we start this match, that I did know his team because I watch his videos, so I knew what his stuff does. I definitely had the information advantage in this match. He did watch the match before that I had with this team, but he only saw the one match with my team, whereas I pretty much know everything on his team and what it does. So that's definitely going to play a factor here. But let's go ahead and get started. So I lead with Hurt Locker the Rotom. Again, every team has Choice Scarf Rotom because it's amazing. So if there's one available in NU, you better believe I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to Volt Switch out on the first turn here. He sends in Boy George. I know for a fact this thing is Scarfed, so I'm able to just Protect to scout and see what it wants to do. And then switch into Mamma Mia on the Choice Scarfed Thunderbolt, which allows me to get my Stealth Rocks up absolutely free. Oogway comes in. I'm guessing he's not going to want to go for the obvious move and spin right away since I have a Ghost. So I actually switch into Hurt Locker instead of going into Spook the Haunter, and then I Volt Switch out, and now I'm able to block the spin. He did watch the match before this, so he knew that Spook was a sub-disable set, and that's why I'm actually going to go for the double sub here, as opposed to the sub-disable. I knew he knew that it was sub-disable, so I didn't want to go for disable, and it pays off huge, because he ends up switching to Boy George, and I get a sub up. Unfortunately, I blow it by going for the obvious Shadow Ball, and he gets a free switch into Papillion, that thing, I forget its name. So he actually could have gotten his Sun up here, but instead he opts to go for a Wish, which is a little strange. I'm just going to go for Hidden Power Fighting, and he goes for Wish again. Now I'm guessing he's going to go for a Switch, so I'm going to double switch, even though I have to give up my sub. Go right back into Hurt Locker, trick the War Turtle so that it cannot go for a Scald, and Rapid Spin without switching out, and that's going to play a major factor here because I know he's locked into Scald now, so I can hit him with a Thunderbolt and just about kill the War Turtle, which also kills his chances of spinning, which is huge. So Wheatley the Charizard comes in here, and I, for whatever reason, switched into Roselia. That's not going to work, so I go into Oogway, who gets crit by a Solar Beam, but I don't think it mattered that much. He might have had a shot at living, but I highly doubt it. So anyhow, it does give me a free switch into Dive Bomb. The Swellow, who is going to be faster than Wheatley, take him out with a Brave Bird, and I'm almost out of the Sun. If I can just survive a few more turns, I'll be good. I kind of Death Fodder Blackthorn the Roselia there because I just want the Sun gone. Like I said, as soon as the Sun goes up, my guys start dying. So every turn that the Sun's up is just a turn that I need to weather it. And now that it's down, I'm feeling pretty good. Boy George is back in. Once again, I'm going to scout his moves since I know he's Choice Scarfed. He shows me the Psychic. I don't want anything to die, so I go into Mamma Mia the Golem, knowing that he has Sturdy. Even if I get crit, I will survive. And I go for the Sucker Punch here, even though I know he's probably going to switch out. I do not want to risk over-predicting. There's really no need. Coconuts, the Executor, has Sleep Powder. I switch into Dive Bomb to block it. He missed, but it was totally irrelevant because I was already toxic, so it would have ended the same either way. Golem comes in here. It gets cured of its poison from the Lumberry, which is annoying, and surprisingly enough, he doesn't go for the Sucker Punch. He tries to hit me with Stone Edge, which I found strange. I'm going to play Mind Games here, go for Stealth Rocks once, even though they're already up, predicting him to go for Sucker Punch, and then I Sucker Punch him as he goes for Earthquake. So that worked out nicely. Got some free damage onto the Golem. And now At this point, I pretty much have the game won, but I don't realize that. I think that Boy George, the Scarfed Gardevoir, is still a threat. I didn't realize that it would die to Toxic after one attack, and then that I could sweep with whoever was left. So I'm actually going to substall his Stone Edges here, waiting for him to miss. He does miss on the last one, and then I'm able to disable the Sucker Punch since I'm behind a sub and take him out with a Shadow Ball. So that's going to leave Spook the Haunter behind a sub, and at this point, Boy George can only break the sub before he dies, and I will outspeed the Executor. So that is going to be the game. Really good match, I thought. I feel like I played it particularly well, again, probably because I knew his team inside out. That certainly didn't help, but just a really good match. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and my first foray out of UU. So give me a thumbs up if you guys liked the video. Check out the links in the description, and as always, I will have more coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.